Okay, so it's episode 2 of conquering all maps in Ark. I also decided to add the challenge that my survivor must be at max level and I must have at least one animal at max level before continuing to the next map. I might regret this, who knows. I real fast wanted to go over all of the mods I am using for this challenge. They're mostly cosmetic, but I figured I should let you all know anyway. For starters, we have sleep-able bed. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then additional lighting. That gives me a ton of new blueprints to craft all kinds of lights. Then there's visual storage, which is another collection of blueprints, so I can craft things like a woodshed, a box of stone, a thatch crate, things like that. Basically, very organized storage. Next is Ark Additions in Genesis Plus, which adds a wider range of creatures onto the island for me to tame and discover. Now, I did remove the Structures Plus mod, and I'm not sure what Eco's Terrariums is. I believe that is another cosmetic mod, so we'll figure that one out. Alrighty, intro over, onto the challenge. On my way home from that failed attempt at taming the Spinosaurus, I realized I should get an Ankylo so I can get metal, so I can grow my resources. And I was pretty sure I had one tamed over on Herbivore Island, so I decided to head there and check. But not before naming my bird. His name's Saitama now. And making it to Herbivore Island, I was reminded that everything crafted with the additional lighting mod has infinite energy. So, that's cool. Also, I do have an Ankylo, and I was so happy to find that out. Turns out I also have a Stegosaurus Phiomia, a pair of Dilophosaurus, and a pair of Parasaurolophus. So, way more animals than I thought I did. I decided to look through my boxes and found out that I had quite a few materials that I could take with me. So I quickly loaded everything up on my dinos and headed back home. Having to drag an Ankylosaurus around, it became quite the journey. I did eventually make it home though, and then I gathered the resources from my dinos and got them organized and put away. After that, I went through and unlocked some engrams since I hadn't actually done that in a while. And then finally, I got to fixing up my armor. After that, I suddenly remembered that I still needed a Castroid saddle so I could gather wood. And I promptly found out I didn't have it unlocked yet, and since I had just been unlocking a ton of engrams, I needed to wait to level up. So I gathered my Argies and Deodicarus and went on a stone run instead. I really wanted to get my base built so that way I had all of my resources organized and done, so it would be a lot easier to tame animals in the future, especially after that severely failed attempt at taming that Spinosaurus. So after unloading all of the stone, I hopped on Broad to get some wood and thatch. I planned on crafting a ton of stone fence foundations and building a perimeter. But before that, I took Saitama and went to kill this Alpha Carno since it was close by and I really didn't want it to sneak up on me. And thankfully, somehow I got in a position where I could hit it, but it couldn't hit me. For killing it, I got a decent pair of chitin shoes and was able to level up Saitama 7 levels. And that was pretty cool. But back to the task at hand. I was able to craft 40 stone foundations right off the bat, so I went to get them placed, only to be immediately attacked by a regular Carnotaurus. And none of my animals seemed to notice. Excuse me.
What did I tell you about being careful? Weren't you listening?
It's not my fault my animals didn't help. They just all stood there. Saitama's the only one that actually did anything. Goodness. But after respawning, I was able to grab my stuff and continue my work. You're dead. You are dead. After about halfway, I realized the placing was very off from what I wanted it to be. Oh, dear, no. No. So I had to demolish and replace everything. And this happened one more time before I finally got the placement where I wanted it to be. While replacing everything, I noticed a pack of hyenodons nearby, and considered that they might actually come try and kill me, which they did. Yep. Hear that music. It was them. Oh, they just want the Carnotaurus carcass, that's right. Well, now they're coming at me. Run, run, run. Anyone gonna help? Saitama came and helped. Oh, so did you. Thank you guys, you're all so helpful. So after that whole thing happened, I got my stone fence foundations finally placed, only to realize that I forgot to round the corners. So again, I had to replace quite a few. Replace everything again. Oh my goodness. So grabbing a bit more wood off of Bro, I crafted more fence foundations just for that. Then some more hyenodons decided to come and terrorize us, but Saitama put them in their place real fast. Not sure what this one was trying to accomplish here. But back to work redoing all of my work. I did have to destroy the fence around my old base to place these foundations, but this entire thing was only temporary anyway. After finally placing down the last foundation, I was able to start work on the gateways. However, I quickly realized I didn't actually have the behemoth gate engram unlocked yet, so another reason for me to level up. But I was able to craft the regular dinosaur gateways, and I needed at least 2 of those. So I got those swiftly placed and then began gathering the resources to craft the behemoth dinosaur gateway, since I did have that part unlocked. After getting the gateway crafted, I knew I wanted it to be symmetrical, so I crafted a storage box to be able to place it in the center when I found it. So I started counting the stone foundations, only to realize I had made a mistake in my calculations. Are you serious? No, something has to be off. No, I did this symmetrically. 1, 2, 3. I realized my mistake was that I hadn't placed an even number of foundations, so the only way to make it symmetrical would be to remove an entire side wall and bring it in one. So, more redoing my own work. But while I was doing that, Bro got attacked by a Rex, so I quickly hopped on Saitama to help out, but I underestimated him. Bro is strong. But back to work. I got the dinosaur gateway replaced and was finally able to place my behemoth dinosaur gateway. Still needed to level up to be able to craft the doors, but this was okay for now. After that, I quickly placed these 2 back doors, and I was completely done with the doors. Finally, I could move on to the walls. But at that point, I was so tired of constantly redoing my own work, so I took Saitama out for a hunting trip. I needed a break, and I needed to level up anyway. After terrorizing some Argies and mammoths, we found some feather Rexes. I don't know what they're actually called, this is what I call them. And I don't know if you know this, but they give a good amount of experience when killed. So I will often target them and their not-so-loyal Carnotaurus minions. Then we ran into these guys, and I don't know what they are, but they seem to have some sort of ice breath, which was pretty neat. We continued on for a while, being absolute menaces to literally every animal we could find, and then I realized I could probably tame a penguin, so I hopped off of Saitama and decided to try and punch it to sleep, but accidentally killed it. So, whoopsie. But I wasn't about to give up, so I decided I should pick one up and take it back to base with Saitama. But for some reason, he absolutely would not pick the penguin up. Like, I literally tried for a good couple minutes, and he just wouldn't pick it up. So, I guess you can't in Ark? I totally thought you could, though. So I just continued on hunting. Such loyal soldiers. Pretty soon I did manage to level up and was also dying from the cold, so we headed home. As soon as we got there, I decided to start destroying the walls on my old base and crafting new walls to place on my stone foundations. Then I got the Castroid saddle and dinosaur gateway unlocked. After destroying nearly all the walls on my old base, I got to work placing the new few that I had crafted. Then I remembered the Castroid saddle, so I went to get that crafted and put on my beaver, who was also able to level up quite a bit, so that's nice. Finally able to collect wood, I was able to craft the gateway. Yay! So I got to work on crafting and placing some walls. But then I had the idea to tame a Pegomastix, so I ran off to get that started. And there were 2 I was able to track since they had stolen from me previously, so I started tracking one and it was all the way in the redwoods. However, when I reached it, it just kind of vanished. So I started tracking the other one and I did find this one. But after letting it steal meat from me, the taming effectiveness didn't go up at all. I decided to follow it around to try one more time to see if I could tame it, but it went and targeted Saitama, so he killed it. I did, however, attract the attention of this compy, so I decided that I would tame her. So I punched her to sleep, quickly gathered some prime meat with Saitama, came back, punched her asleep again because she woke up, and tamed her. Feel free to drop name ideas in the comments, cause I don't know. I hadn't given up yet on taming a Pegomastic, so I left Saitama here at this base and ran around looking for one. And while I was running around and terrorizing this random deer, I found a really old base. So I got that cleaned up and continued my hunt for my Pegomastics. Ended up finding a loot drop, stuff was kinda useless though. Continued running around, not finding my Pegomastics, but I found a Troodon, decided to kill it. But its buddy was close by and took me by surprise. Did you know these things could make you fall asleep? Because I didn't. Miraculously, nothing found me while I was unconscious, and I continued the hunt for the Pegomastics. But I never found it, so finally I decided to head back home. On my way, I found these ruins, but discovered I had already collected the Explorer Note. Right before heading home, I decided to stop and grab this loot drop. Wasn't much in it. Then I flew over these ruins and had to stop for a couple seconds because I was so certain I had already collected that Explorer Note. But apparently not. Then I grabbed this green loot drop, stuff was okay, and finally made it home. After organizing all of the resources that I had collected for my trip, I gathered my RGs and went on a wood run. After getting back, I crafted as many stone walls as I could and got them placed. While I was admiring my work, I noticed this dead Rex over here, but there was nothing nearby that could have killed it. I was honestly very confused, especially since I had seen it alive just moments before. But I couldn't dwell on it too long. I wanted to craft an Ankylo saddle. That way I could finally take this guy up to the Blue Obelisk and stock up on metal. And that's it. Episode 2 is done. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. Thanks so much for watching.